Alright, I am back, and as I was asking myself these questions, the same questions, what role do shared activities play in my relationship, blah blah. Um, I won't explain it. I'll just skip to my answers to the questions. What role do shared activities play in my relationships? Well, they're everything to me. I really don't care to do things on my own if they involve my girlfriend or whoever it is. I want to spend almost all my time with them. I understand there's work, there's school, there's things that come first. That's perfectly fine. But if I have the choice between sitting home alone for a night or going out and doing something with them, I'm going to choose doing something with them. Because being together with them, no matter what it is, makes everything easier. And that being said, I'll get this distance question out of the way right now. Why is there a need for distance in your relationship? Well, it ties into what role do shared activities play in your relationship. Of course, I want to be close to that person. Of course, I want to see them as much as possible. But there are also times when you just need you time. And when I said just between a night at home and going out and doing something with them, yeah, I'd love to go out and do something with them, but say I've done something with them for every other night this week or 4 out of 7 days or something, I might choose tonight to just be a me night and just sit back and relax and do my thing. Of course, I'm going to be, I'm going to be talking to them, but physically it will allow me to do my homework, take care of things around the house, maybe play a game or two of mine, catch up on some readings, watch some movies that, they wouldn't like, stuff like that. And, I think that's pretty reasonable. What role does intellectual intimacy play in my relationship? Well, that's very, very obvious. A high intellect is a turn on for me, no matter how I look at it. Now, whether or not the person uses it correctly is the real deal breaker. If they're very, very high in intellect, but using it to just constantly assault people and to put others down and just completely cynical all the time, and it's mind-numbing. It's terrible. I don't want to put up with that for the rest of my life. I don't want to put up with that now. And I honestly can't imagine someone who does. But yeah, I'd love it if you could just, make a mean-spirited joke every now and again. I think that's hilarious. And I love it as long as, it's still joking. If you're being mean and outright mean to someone, it's just like, I mean, as long as the person is, as long as they haven't done anything wrong, as long as, they're just going about their daily lives, I'd have a problem with that. I'd look at them and just be like, are you kidding me? What did they do? They didn't do anything. Now, if this person was, say, an ex who stole, I don't know, like a few $100, stole some of their favorite stuff, something like that, a former friend who's done that, just some random jerk who was picking on us when we were at the checkout line or something like that, then I could understand the mean-spirited joke. But then again, most girls who I go for, or more or less who go for me, when something like that happens, they tend to speak out very clearly to whatever the hell is going on right there. And quite honestly, I'm surprised I haven't gotten knocked out by some random jerk who my girl picked a fight with. Because they get really heated. And surprisingly, I haven't gotten into any sketchy situations resulting in that. I haven't gotten into any fights or anything like that, thankfully. but they don't take stuff sitting down, that's for sure. What I ideally want in someone intellectually is someone who's intelligent, who's not afraid to, pick on me a little bit and make fun of people, but also understand how to be compassionate, how to use that intellect for good. And I want that good side of them on at all times. A little bit of sarcasm, that's perfect. That would be ideal. I love, a sharp tongue. But just being mean for the sake of being mean is not okay. Emotional intimacy. Huge, huge role. If I don't love someone, or if they're doing something that's deeply upsetting me, I'm going to start second thinking. I'm going to start, second thinking the relationship. I'm going to wonder if, hey, is this how it's always going to be? And if it continues like this, do I even want to be in the relationship? Do I want to keep going like this? And if the answer is no, I'm probably going to get out very soon. That being said, I'm a very emotionally connected person. I love very deeply when I do actually fall for someone, and it's gotten my heart broke more than a few times. Sadly, it does go both ways. If I'm not attached to someone and they're very attached to me, it always ends up I'll hang on as long as I can, but I got to get out eventually because I just won't be happy. And the emotional intimacy is just as important to me as physical intimacy. Sex, hugs, kisses, random surprise tackles, that sort of thing. I adore that. Sex is actually very high up on my list. Honestly, I don't have a problem sharing this. My libido is rather high. I know of a few people who's on the same caliber, but besides that, it's above average, I'd at least consider. So having someone who can keep up with me physically like that and still be loving and caring and affectionate in every other aspect is what I need. And it's part of the reason so many of my relationships haven't worked out, because one of these needs hasn't been fulfilled. Intimacy is needed in my relationships because I have physical needs and emotional needs. And if they aren't met, I won't be happy. And I know I can go and find someone who will meet those needs. It's all a matter of time. Found them before, I can find them again. It's all a matter of time. And that being said, I'm willing to compromise, but I gotta see compromise going the other way too. It's kind of a confusing and difficult topic for me to talk about because my relationship life has just been insane lately. These past 2 years? No. Yeah, year or so. It's been really, really crazy. And I'm finding myself more and more withdrawn to relationships. So as of right now, I have more than one person after me. And more than a few of them I have no interest in whatsoever. Besides that, I've basically told anyone who's ever been interested that I can't commit right now. I'm not stable enough for it. I need to have some sort of physical connection or it won't work at all. I can't drive right now, which is a major problem. Because most of the women who are interested in me, for some reason, can't either. I see a recurring pattern in the women I end up with, and I don't know if it's my fault or not. I'm not going to go into that right now. But, um, That need for physical connection is simply because I spend so much of my time alone. And I crave human affection because of that fact. Comparing my answers to Marita's, mine were significantly more in detail simply because it's coming out of my head. When it comes down to shared activities, we agreed. It's very important in our relationships. But we both need our space. Intellectual intimacy. We both agreed that someone who's smarter and connects with us on an intellectual level will, in fact, turn us on more. They'll make us want to be with them more, talk to them more, that sort of thing. Emotional intimacy. Complete opposites. I want that physical love. I need that physical love. She doesn't know. She doesn't want it. It confuses things for her. And that's understandable. Some people are like that. I mean, she's 18, going on 19 now, same as me. She doesn't need to deal with that just yet. Still young. Physical intimacy. We both agree that it is very, very, very important for us. Very important. And simply because being young, the hormones, sex drives through the roof, besides that, the need for physical interaction, hugs, kisses, cuddles, that sort of thing, is very, very important right now simply because we are on our own so much. We are alone so much. I'm still living at home right now, and it's only me and my mom. My mom hasn't been home in going on 36 or so hours. Stuff like that. I mean, I don't get much human interaction, even if it's just with my mom or something like that. I need physical interaction with someone I can actually be physical with, sexually and emotionally. I need a girlfriend or someone in my life. That's what I should have said. And the need for intimacy is just simply because we as human beings crave it. We want to settle down with someone. We want to mate. We want to breed and have offspring and raise them and watch them raise their offspring and just live. And hell, I think that's beautiful. I mean, I probably didn't explain it the most beautiful way, but the process itself is very beautiful and very appealing to me. And quite honestly, I'm hoping I find that very soon. Why is there a need for distance? Two people can be very close and still not need to see each other. I found that out, long distance dating, that sort of thing. Of course, you still need to communicate with people, but you don't need to be with them 24/7 for it to be a stable relationship. If you're with them 24/7 and feel like you need to be with them 24/7, you probably have separation issues. Or there's something else going on. And if both of you feel like that, hey, good for you. As long as you can still contribute to society, there's no problem with that. But most people feel that they need to have their time alone. They need to have their solitude. And they need that as much as they need to be with someone. Marita, being a woman, being of multiple cultures, being of different background than I am, raised differently than I am, that probably hugely impacted the questions and answers. As you can see, she's a bit more detached than I am, and that's possibly because of her rough starts. She's a very strong person, though, very self-reliant, and I admire that in her greatly. She's not the typical housewife sort of thing. She's not going to sit around and just do your laundry or anything like that. she there's no way I cannot put what she said vulgarly about what we were talking about one time. It was basically, so what happens if he asks you to, go make him a sandwich or go do the laundry or something like that? And she replied, I'd turn to him, say F you, and go do it yourself, and I'd sit down on the couch and grab a beer or go for a walk. I laughed my ass off at this point, and I love how she breaks stereotypes like that and how unique she is. Me, on the other hand, I'm more of a romantic of a guy. Physically, I'm not the biggest. 5'6", 160 pounds, average weight-wise for my height. But muscle-wise, I'm not too strong. I love cooking. I hate cleaning. I love cooking. I hate working. I'd rather be at home. And hell, if it came down to it, I'd rather be raising my kids than out there working every day, depending on, how spoiled and crazy they are. If they're anything like I was when I was young, I'd be in trouble. But I would still much rather have a quiet life than deal with the everyday hassle that's out there. So, in that matter of speaking, I'm the opposite of the classic gender role. And I find that rather interesting. I'm not insulted by that in any means, and I'm kind of proud of the fact that I'm different. And, I don't fit into these roles, because who wants to just be another carbon copy of everything we see on TV, everything we've read about? I'd rather just be me. And I know Marita feels the same way, as well as most of my friends and most of the people I know. And I think it's just fantastic that in today's society we're not letting gender roles or cultural roles control us as much as they used to. Alright, I think that's about all I got to say. Thank you. Have a good night.